So welcome everyone to our yoga programming for this evening. As we most often do, you can start in a nice comfortable seat. And we'll start with some long, deep breathing. You're most welcome during these practices to close your eyes, and this really helps us to sort of shut down from the outer sensory world and just draw our attention into the internal environment. So wherever you're coming to in your day, whatever sort of momentum has carried you into this moment, now is an opportunity to draw a little more space between that inner pressure and this moment of peace and calm. To the best of your capacity, sit nice and tall in your spine, relaxing muscles throughout the entire body. The breath is ideally in and out through the nose. If the nose is blocked, try your best to breathe in through the nose and maybe a gentle exhale through the mouth. And in the beginning of our class, especially with eyes shutting down, is a great opportunity for you to feel any sensations that might be arising for you, it's sort of identifying where you are in this moment. So take a moment here just to tune into the inner body. And let each exhalation take you to a calmer baseline. No matter what happened before this point, just reaffirm your calm center. With each inhalation, we fill the body with vitality. Each exhalation, we're returning back to that calm center. And we're going to briefly begin with an activating pranayama or energy control practice by altering our breath and the pattern of our breath. So some of you may be familiar with this practice. It's called Kapalabhati. And Kapalabhati is known as the skull shining breath. And it's great for cleaning out any sort of fogginess in the brain, any lack of clarity for a situation in your life, by gently pumping on exhalation. So we do a forceful exhalation and draw the belly up and in, and then relax out. And the inhale is sort of like a reflex breath. So you just focus almost like you're pressing a button by pushing breath out. It sounds like this. I'll demonstrate and then we'll get into the practice. It sounds like this. Now you might do the breath a little bit slower. Some of us like to do it a little bit faster. The most important part is that you feel relaxed as you're doing the breath. So again, just to reiterate the practice, you focus on pushing the breath out of the nose. On exhale, it's a pulse of breath out, belly comes in. When you inhale, the belly relaxes. And so you just continue like this. So to the best of your capacity, for anybody experiencing the practice, center your awareness at the point between your two eyebrows. I'm going to guide us through a slower version for anybody that's new. Palms are resting up on the lap. So we'll begin first by exhaling all the breath out of the nose. You're going to inhale halfway and then begin. Deep breath in. Let the breath slowly pass out. Lift your energy up to the point between your two eyebrows. Your awareness is like a shining flashlight. Center it right at the point between your two eyebrows and just relax and feel for a few moments. It's a wonderfully stimulating breath. It draws energy from the low of your spine up. It draws vitality back to the brain. So let's do a few more rounds here. And again, if you can go faster and that feels more comfortable, feel free. I'll demonstrate a little bit quicker this time, but still quite slow. So when you're ready, you start by exhaling all the breath out. Inhale just halfway, and then begin. Inhale when you're ready. Relax the breath out. Take a few rounds of long, deep inhalation, full, complete exhalation, feeling the center of the forehead cleaned and cleared. So you have an option to continue in this breath. Well, for the first few lines of this chant, we'll have a chant to open our space this evening. And this is a beloved chant to me called O Thou King of the Infinite. And feel free even just to breathe and feel the consciousness behind these words. Every practice that we do before we start moving in the body is to alter our interior climate so that it's in the ideal resonance, the ideal space for us to practice the outward forms so that they're beneficial to our bodies. So feel free to just breathe. You can alter your sitting position if you need to. This is a chant by Paramhansa Yogananda, O Thou King of the Infinite. O Thou King of the Infinite, O Thou King of the Infinite, I behold Thee in Samadhi, I behold Thee in Samadhi, in joy and in more joy, in Thy light of mellow joy, in I behold thee in samadhi. 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 Let's just take a few moments here in the silence that follows the chant to sit still and calm in the body and feel the consciousness that has been awakened by the chant. O thou King of the Infinite, I behold thee in Samadhi. Samadhi is the all-transcendental state of oneness of consciousness with the cosmos. O thou King of the Infinite, I behold thee in Samadhi, in joy, and in more joy, in thy light of mellow joy. Just taking a few more moments here, interiorize. These chants are very important for reminding us of the true essence of these practices. That we are practicing yoga asana to calm the heart, to calm the mind, that we might be more contented, more peaceful within ourselves, and in the stillness of that inner peace, behold a more expansive version of ourselves, even so far as to expand into a oneness with the environment around us, and finally to the whole entire cosmos. And this is the beauty of this practice, that we are re-establishing that connection. So when you practice these physical asanas this evening, keep that in the forefront of your consciousness, that each of these postures is an invitation for you to fortify your connection with the infinite and to explore that connection. So when you're ready, you can slowly begin to open the eyes and come back into a more wakeful consciousness. And let's start in our seat here. So if you need to unfold the legs, I understand if the knees might be a little bit crampy. Let's all do this together. We'll just unfold these legs and get the hands behind you. Give a little point and flex of the toes. Some nice deep breaths, circling of the feet. You can stir them in a circle. How about the head and the neck? Try going chin in the same direction as the pointing of the toes. Start with little circles and work your way in a little bigger. And if by this point you still think that yoga is about stretching, let's throw that out the window and replace it with the word relaxation. So calming and energizing the body. Let's inhale, we'll push off of the hands, point the toes and lift the chin. Exhale, toes to the sky, chin to the chest, round the back. Take a couple more. Inhaling, pointing, wakeful consciousness. Exhaling, looking to the lap, toes towards the face. A couple more rounds, waking the spine up. Exhaling and folding. Good. First steps of our connection with the divine start happening in the spine. Let's go ahead and free the hands. If you need to, pull the muscle of the glutes out of the way to help you sit a little taller, and just rub the legs for a few moments here. A little massage on the outside, the inside. We've been given this wonderful vehicle to perceive the infinite. So give it love. And when you're ready, if you can either set your hands down and just sit tall, but for anyone that can free their arms above the head, you can reach, extending arms up above into Dandasana, hands coming right down into the heart. Good. One more time, we'll inhale and reach up. Exhale, hands come down through the heart. Let's go ahead and send left hand down as far over as you'd like and reach the opposite arm up overhead, palm side down. Take a few breaths here. Good. You feel free to wiggle the toes if they get any bit kind of stagnant in the practice. We'll wave to the other side. Your breath is your support. Inhaling to reach over. Exhaling, keep expanding in the pose. Feeling all the little supportive muscles on either side of the spine beginning to stimulate and activate and release any patterns of tension. If you can, both arms go up into the sky or just set them back and behind you. Nice tall spine. Exhale, part the hands down and towards the earth. Good. Let's work with the legs a little more. You can go ahead and slide your left foot into the center of your body and let the knee open nice and wide. Again, keep the glutes pulled out of the way here if you can, and help the pelvis to tilt forwards. So we'll take a deep breath in and begin Janusharasana. When you're ready to exhale, hands into the heart, and then just let them come into soft fists. Nice deep double inhale. Try a double exhale and release the hands forward. And then again. Double exhale out. Arms are relaxed. Again. Relaxing the body. A couple more times like this. Once you feel that little catch point on the back side of your knee or your leg, you just relax in that space. And you want to feel that you're extending the heart out wide, all the way beneath the foot. And then you can come up into a neutral position here. Let's go ahead and switch sides and do so mindfully, gracefully. Again, if you need to refix the glutes outside of or underneath the body, feel free. Start by inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, hands into the heart. Nice soft shoulders, soft fists by the sides of the heart. And if you can keep your toes flexed, it helps with keeping this leg really stimulated with energy. So double inhale. Double exhale, try to lead with your heart. Arms are relaxed and then come back. And release. And release. You can use this as a cleansing motion too. Any energies in the heart, emotions, maybe that you're holding towards yourself or towards others that aren't serving a joyful expression, just feel that waves of joy are sending those unwanted energies out of your existence, pushing with waves of joy. Again, just letting that energy come out. Remember that you're shifting energy as you move in the body like this, and then we'll set hands down. If anyone can come up and around, feel free. And then relax the arms down. Good. Let's send both feet out in front of the body here. Fix your seat if you need to. We're going to sweep the arms up into our full Dandasana or staff pose. Exhale, hands into the heart. Good. Start with hands down by the sides of the body and start to lower your chest forwards. If you need to rub the back of the knees or the thighs, feel free. And at some point, bow the head forward and down into Paschimottanasana, the resting aspect of this seated posture. As some of us are practicing late in the day, this is a wonderful time for forward folds to relax the nervous system. The affirmation for Paschimottanasana: I am safe, I am sound, all good things come to me. I am safe, I am sound, all good things come to me. Just soften in the low spine. If anyone can reach your toes, take your first two fingers and wrap them around the big toes. Just breathe your head facing towards the lap. I am safe, I am sound, all good things come to me. I am safe, I am sound, all good things come to me. Little flutters of inhale can take you slightly up away from the edge of your practice, and then the exhale, you start to sort of pour yourself over the form again. This is a nice way through micro movements to soothe any protective tension from the body. Good. When you're ready to rise, slide the hands up the legs. Head's the last part of the body to rise. Stay with me if you can. Inhale, lift the hands up the front side of the body. Exhale, float them back and behind the body. Fingers are going to point towards the heels. We're coming right into an active pose. Point the toes and lift your hips. With a burst of energy, I rise to greet the world. And exhale if you need to. Come down, come down. And then come one more time and stay this time with a burst of energy. I rise to greet the world. Squeeze the thighs, the glutes, especially the belly and spine here. Stay joyful, smile if you can with a burst of energy. I rise to greet the world. And then exhaling, gentle expression, back and down. Good. We're going to step feet nice and wide as they can go. So feel free to use the hands to widen them a little bit more, and your toes will face up the whole time here. And notice sometimes our toes kind of fall asleep, but keep them active here. Reach back for the glutes, pull them out of the way. Good. When you're ready, you inhale and sweep the arms up above the head. I understand this can be very challenging. Hands come down through the heart on exhale. Otherwise, you hold yourself in the seated pose and breathe. You might take a little rub through the inner thighs if you need to. Checking in with the body, seeing how it responds to this particular expression. We're going to stay in active phase, either hands are behind the legs, and we stay tall in the heart, pressing off of the ground. Some of us can step hands in front. Most important, keep the chest broad here. And this posture is very good about letting us know where our threshold is. And you think long in your spine, like you had a hollow tube of light from the very base of the spine all the way to the crown. And you wanted to keep that tube protected. Good. Just breathe your way into a little more space. I personally like to close my eyes. It helps you to interiorize yourself into this sensation and transmute it with your breath. Good. And when you reach that point where you're ready to take the passive version of this form, you just bow the head wherever it can go. If you can come down onto forearms, feel free. If you can bow the chest, you're most welcome to. Nice deep breathing. And the affirmation is an interesting one for this. I welcome every opportunity for further growth. I welcome every opportunity for further growth. And you can hear within that the necessity of acceptance. I welcome every opportunity for further growth and the hue of optimism. And then when you're ready, you come into the neutral position, coming right into your seat. Seat your hands any way that you need to and lift the gaze to the point between the two eyebrows. And you find that the channel of the spine is starting to open and energy will keep rising as we lift our attention to the spiritual eye over and over with each passing breath. When you're ready to exit the pose, you just flutter eyes open, set hands behind you and bend the knees. And we're going to draw our feet over and off to the side and come onto the knees. So a great counter pose to the posture we were just in is to sit over the ankles just for a moment. Shift your hands behind you and lift your chest. Now some of us can lift the hips off of the heels, and especially if your ankles are sensitive, keep the hips lifted here. And you really want to activate the muscles on the front side of your thighs and pull yourself from the earth and breathe steady here. So we're activating front side of the thighs, we're activating low back muscles, breathing nice and steady in the position. This can be very challenging for some of our bodies, others of us, we'd love this position, so listen to your body, and when you're ready to exhale, just lower down out of the pose. If you can sit for just a moment in Vajrasana or Hero's pose, palms face up on the lap, and we lift through the belly, chest, and drop the shoulders back. Good, all the energy to the point between the two eyebrows. These are special moments in between the postures just to open a little bit more space, to relax, to feel. When you're ready to release out, you can go ahead and come up onto hands and knees, and we'll go down onto the belly now. So lower down onto your belly. Sort of the opposite of our burst of energy posture here. We're going to do a lotus pose. So for the gentlest version, you can come into Sphinx pose, which is elbows under the shoulders, and you can just stay here and breathe. Nice deep breath. And if you'd like to try the lotus position, just keep an eye on me for a few moments here. And we start with legs. Palms are facing up underneath the body. And you just go ahead and point the toes and lift the legs. Some of us can shrug the shoulders and we can lift into this very supportive version. Bend the knees if it's too much on the low spine. And you can always come down whenever you need to. Long, steady breath here, feeling the invigorating qualities as you energize the low spine. You can exhale and just lay down for a moment to rest. If your low spine is grabbing, bend the knees and wave the feet. So your hands are sort of right at the very top of your thigh, Fingers pointing down the thighs. Let's try again here. And again, you start by lifting your feet. So your hands should be just enough of a little energy to lift the legs. This is a challenging pose. Squeeze your thighs and your glutes. Stay here if you can. Some of us don't need the hands, and you push down through the pelvis and float your hands. So this would be a floating lotus pose here. Locust pose. Nice deep breath. And then you exhale and come down and rest when you're ready. Bend the knees and swing the feet if you need to. We're going to take one more round. So try to step your big toes together. And this time, just lift your chest. See if you can do it without your hands. Just a little lift. And then try bending your knees. This is a good place to start for many of us. And then push down into your pelvis and see if your knees can float a little. And then you might lift the hands. Almost like you're coming into a bow pose, but maybe we'll try that next. Again, if you want the full version, you lift the palms and reach. Beautiful job. Go ahead and lower down here and just rest the body. Turn palms facing down if you'd like for grounding. Good. Breathe into the low spine. Beautiful job. When you're ready, you can take hands underneath the shoulders, toes underneath the feet, and you just rise right up onto the knees. And it can be kind of nice here. You just go ahead and set one ankle over the other, and sometimes you can roll back over your feet and extend them nice and long. So we want to come right back into our forward fold shape and pull the glutes out of the way. And this is the ideal reverse of our previous posture, and just go ahead and lean forward until you can rest the head down. And so this evening we're very much practicing a style of Hatha Yoga, which Hatha is referred to as sun and moon, or the yoga asana of pairs of opposites. So each time we practice a pose, we go right to the opposite. With a little bit of inspiration from the Ananda Yoga lineage, with affirmations: I am safe, I am sound, all good things come to me. Repeat it inwardly: I am safe, I am sound, all good things come to me. Just keep relaxing, soothing the muscles, allowing the mind to be occupied solely on the breath and what's happening right in front of you. When you're ready to rise, come into a neutral position, hands slightly behind the body, lift the chest in Dandasana. Lift all the energy to the spiritual eye. And some of us can even find Mula Bandh, which is this little gathering of energy at the very base of your spine and the pelvic floor. And if you squeeze that area, it sends a nice uplifting energy through the spine. All right. While we're here, we might as well come into a side plank pose. Now, there's an option to roll your knees off to the side in side plank, and you just tuck your feet behind you. And you send one of your hands to the floor, and then you lift up. So this is sort of a side plank cut in half. It works for some of our bodies, not everyone's. If you'd like to come into the full version, Doesn't matter which side you start, just roll your knees over, extend your top leg out nice and long, both hands on the side, you lift the body and set your knee underneath. And then you send your opposite arm above you. Good steady breath here, stay in the pose. And some of us like to free the bottom leg out of the way, and we find ourselves toning the body. So be mindful of what you need. And the affirmation, I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. When you're ready to lower down, do so gradually, and you just bow the hips out of the way and slide that foot back and down. Good, we're going to come into Dandasana for a moment. Staff's pose, sit nice and tall, and lift the inner gaze to the spiritual eye, and we'll breathe here for just 3 rounds. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Feel that energy coursing through the body as you open your eyes. We're going to come right to the other side. So again, if you like, you can bend your knees and roll over towards the side. You just tuck your feet behind you. And this is a great way to begin on the pose, just halfway, arm up into the sky. And you really start to feel that toning through the inner triangle of the body. If you'd like to come into a deeper version, send your top leg reaching out, and you push and just set your knee underneath the body and reach up into the sky. Furthermore, you can extend the bottom leg out of the way, and we breathe energized. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Try to relax and smile if you can. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Can we do 2 more breaths? I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. When you need to lower down, come down gently as you're ready to until you come back down to the ground. So we'll join feet in front of the body once more. Sit nice and tall. If you don't need the arms, sweep them up and around. Exhale, hands come down. Feel that wonderful calming quality that starts to circulate through your body. Good, and then exhaling, releasing down. All right, this next position, you can start with your right leg coming in. And if you can step over, that's a bonus. And furthermore, if you can lean to the side and tuck your front leg behind you, and then come sitting back and down. Good. So if you make it to this point, wonderful. You can always unstep if you need to from this position. And if you can go a little bit further, slide the top leg down. Doesn't matter if you're askew here, but just enough to start activating in the hips. You're going to take your right arm up to the sky. This is Gomukhasana pose, or face of light. Your opposite arm is going to reach out, point the thumb down, and just bend your elbows together and gather them behind the body. And you start by sort of grabbing onto the t-shirt, and eventually our hands get closer and closer until they can lock behind the body. Good, and breathe, long, steady breath here. This is called the face of light pose, or Gomukhasana. Try to relax your shoulders, and the energy is deeply centered in the heart in this pose. Try to look up to the point between the two eyebrows if you can, breathing and relaxing. You let these postures work their magic by calm, abiding presence. Nice deep breathing. When you're ready to release, just slip the hands out of any bind, and let's go ahead and just wave the arms into the opposite rotation here. And we're not going to stay, just going to touch. Good. And then you can release arms out to the sides and then come right down to the ground. So as you're ready, you take that top leg and go ahead and slide it out of the way. So a little easier to come out of the pose is slide your front foot forwards, and then you can sneak this leg out from underneath. So do the other side, slide underneath, and then step straight back. If you can step over, step over. And if you can come down, this is the ideal position for our Gomukhasana pose. So whatever your body's ready for. Now, permitted that you can extend your arms up into the sky. We're going to leave our left arm, send the right hand, thumb pointing down, and go ahead and wrap the hands behind as you bend at the elbows and find your t-shirt, or if you can, get a little interlocking of the fingers. A nice, steady, calm breath here. And rather than thinking that we are flexing the muscles or strengthening the muscles, feel more so that you're stimulating channels of energy within your body. And when that energy starts to flow through deep relaxation, that's where our flexibility comes from. Feel the energy rising into your heart and expanding out in every direction. I heard a hospice doctor share in an interview last night one of the most beautiful things, and he said he works with people who are dying every single day. And he said anybody that goes over to the other side and comes back, says the same thing. I felt incredibly accepted. I felt loved as who I am. And for many of them, for the first time in their life. And that's the energy that we can connect to in this posture. That you're perfect exactly as you are. You might notice how your body reflects that. It's almost like your whole body sighs. We're going to release out of the pose. As you're ready to inhale, wave the arms around and just come right into the opposite side just for a moment. Deep breath in. Good. And then exhale, and you can unwind the arms, fill the breath, and then set them back and down onto the earth. And go ahead and lift our front knee as we drag the foot to the ground, and then unstep and slide out. We're going to take our neutral asana by holding onto the back side of the thighs with knees lifted, and just lift your heart. And think like you're aligning all the doorways of the spine, inner gaze to the point between the two eyebrows. Relax and breathe steady. Feel new life and new consciousness rising up your spine. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed, the expression relaxed, and feel that opening in the heart from our Gomukhasan journey. If you can sit a little taller for your last inhale, journey there, and then when you're ready to, you can exhale and slide the hands out of the way. We're going to slide our feet around and give the shoulders a nice flush of energy. So we're going to come right into downward facing dog. Toes are going to tuck underneath, and you just gently press up out of the hands and look back towards your lap. A wonderfully stimulating pose for the spine. And let's feel the affirmation. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Say it with me. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Letting go of anything standing between you and calmness, not only of mind, but also heart. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Deep, slow, relaxed breath. When you're ready to come down, we come down onto the knees and untuck the toes. We're only here for a moment. Just sit over the heels if you can for just a second. If you need to keep toes tucked underneath, feel free. Just stay for just a moment and lift the inner gaze to the spiritual eye. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Okay, let's come off of the ankles, slow opening of the eyes if need be. We're going to come right into camel pose, rising onto the knees. We'll lift arms up into the sky, and then exhale and slide the hands so that they rest, heels of the hands right on the top side of your hips. Good. If anyone's experienced in this pose and you'd like to lower down, hold onto your ankles and then lift up into the full camel. No matter what version you choose, you're looking straight in front of you and at the most up to the sky. Just think calm, energetic, calm and energetic. You're relaxing and opening the channels of the inner body so that energy can travel freely, and you'll find that peace follows this expression. And the affirmation, with calm faith, I open to thy light. Spend a little time here and keep lifting the heart higher, breathing and relaxing simultaneously. With calm faith, I open to thy light. Let your consciousness expand. With calm faith, I open to thy light. It's amazing as we start to hold postures for longer periods of time, how much more powerful they become. Lower down as you're ready to, and we're coming right down into child's pose as our resting position. So extend the arms out and let the head bow towards the earth. Just take a rest. Again, physical body is calm, mental body calm, but the prana body, or the energy in your body, is enlivened. And we keep lifting our attention back to the spiritual eye, and you'll find that unwanted emotions, ways of thinking will start to evaporate. You're lifting yourself into higher awareness. Just like the view becomes very clear at the top of the mountain, the higher your awareness is centered in the spine, the more clear this world becomes. Remember to give that newly awakened energy a place to flow right to the spiritual eye. When you're ready to lift out of the pose, we're going to slowly rise up onto the knees, enough that you can tuck your feet underneath, and we'll continue in this pattern of forward folding. Reach back for your heels, and holding onto the heels, gently begin to descend with crown of the head towards the ground. You're looking towards your lap, and the more that you start to pull on the heels, create a little bit of a lock, and push your belly up into the spine. You want very little energy, or rather very little weight resting on the crown of the head. Lots of energy in the spine. This is called hare pose. You're sort of pressing up into the upper back, a little bulging, getting that energy to flow from the backside of the heart towards the brain. The affirmation, I am master of my energy. I am master of my body. I am master of my energy. I am master of my body. I am master of my energy. I am master of my body. So you can either just lower right down into child's pose with arms wrapped behind you and rest here. Some of us come right up into Vajrasana, or your hero's pose, or thunderbolt pose. If your toes cross, get the right foot on top of the left and sit tall. Let that spine be nice and open here. And feel the consciousness, I am master of my energy. I am master of my body. If you control your energy within the body, you also control the consciousness that you perceive the world with. Keep lifting up into higher spheres, heavenly spheres. Remember the words of Jesus, if thine eye be single, thy whole body will be filled with light. Speaking of the spiritual eye. If thine eye be single, thy whole body will be filled with light. We're going to go ahead and come up onto the knees and sweep the feet out of the way and come down onto our backs. So I'd like to take us through a fish pose, another beautiful posture, especially for helping to stimulate energy in the heart. So if it's your first time, watch first. You're going to come down onto your back, slight bend of your elbows, and you're going to drag your head along the ground, resting on your head and resting on your elbows. Your heart is reaching up to the sky. Good. So stay in the position if you can, and remember, you want weight on your head, but also weight on your elbows so that your feeling a sense of balance between the two. There should be no discomfort in any part of the body in this posture. And the affirmation, my soul floats on waves of cosmic light. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. Stay in the pose if you can for 3 to 5 more breaths. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. Lower down when you're ready by sliding the head out of the way. It stays connected to the ground. And turn the palms to face up. And you're lying on your back in Shavasana just for a few moments. You might even take a double inhalation, double exhale, and look right up into the spiritual eye. Fish pose has a profound awakening through the spine and the body. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. I'm going to come into a plow pose. So it can be helpful here, let me show you briefly, to take a blanket. If you don't have one, don't worry. And you take a blanket into a little rectangle here, and you set it right at the top side of your shoulders so that your head is off of the blanket, but your shoulders are right onto the top here. Some of us may need a thicker blanket than others. If you have a nice pillow, that's wonderful too. What this does creates a little space for the back of your neck. So if you don't have one, don't worry. You can still come into the pose with us. And you start by taking knees in towards the chest. And for any of us that are new to the position, you might just sort of hold onto the backs of your legs and roll onto the upper back. And you might just stay here. Now, if you'd like to come a little bit further, push your elbows into the ground and lengthen the feet behind you as you hold onto your hips. If your feet touch the ground, great. If they don't worry. Just hold onto your hips. Try not to look left or right if you don't want to hurt the back of the neck. Anybody's body who's ready to release the arms above the head along the earth, you're welcome to rest in that version. And some of us will even bend our knees and let them come by our ears. And this is called knee to ear pose, and you're welcome to be here if you'd like. I'll demonstrate for anybody who wants to try. Just make sure you don't look at me while in plow. So whatever posture you're desiring, just stay in the posture for a little while and breathe. The affirmation for plow pose: new life, new consciousness, now flood my being. New life, new consciousness, now flood my being. Take at least 3 to 5, maybe even more deep breaths before you exit the pose. You really want to allow enough time for these postures to shift the foundation of your consciousness. When you do feel that it's time to release, it's slow and steady. Just take a few moments here to lie flat on the back. If your low spine feels any bit uncomfortable, bend your knees, feet down on the ground, and let the knees just roll left and right. And it'll flush the low spine a bit here. And then if you can, just be done with the movement and turn all the attention rising up the spine back to the spiritual eye and rest here with calm energy. You can repeat Om, peace, bliss, right at the spiritual eye. Om, peace, bliss. Om, peace, bliss. Like you're finding or tuning into the radio station. You're tuning into the station of Om, peace, bliss. Om, peace, bliss. You're most welcome to stay here for as long as you'd like. The final pose is an inversion, and I'll demonstrate legs up the wall as the easiest version. So feel free to take a look. You just take your hands in a little fist and sit on your hands and send your feet to the sky. It's okay if the knees are bent. If you want to come into supportive shoulder stand, push off your elbows and lift your hips up into your hands. And to get into shoulder stand, you just start walking your hands further up the back. So contraindications for inversions are if you feel a strong pressure in the face, just come down. To any practicing yogis, sometimes in the beginning you feel a pressure in the face and you just start breathing and relaxing. Trust your body. Let the body know that it's safe. O thou King of the Infinite, I behold thee in Samadhi, in joy and in more joy, in thy mellow light of joy. If you guys don't mind, I would love to play that for you. All paths lead to Shavasana, the final resting pose, resting down onto the ground. Try to play nice and quiet for you. Just feel the consciousness behind the chant. haven't made your way into Shavasana, now is your opportunity to lie on the back with palms facing up, legs extended long. Turn the inner gaze to the point between the two eyebrows. And just have a few rounds of Om here. Let the sound bathe your body here. Feel the inner resonance. Om. 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 Feeling all of the energy lifted to the spiritual eye. Let's rest in silence together for 5 minutes or so. Gently gather the awareness back to the body without moving a muscle. Feel the calmness in your mind, in your heart, in the body. Feel the inner stillness and peace of being. Feel the humbling of our practice. And we'll return to the body by entering into the breath. Excuse me, bless me. And then moving into expressions of energy from the spine into the limbs, the hands and the feet. Feeling the body reawakening, renewed in your practice. Take a double inhalation. Lightly tense the whole body. Double exhale through the mouth. Again. Last time. And release. We'll take knees in towards the chest and just roll yourself right onto your side. From that position, begin to roll yourself back up to a seat, and we'll stay in a comfortable seat just for a few moments together. Eyes are closed, body relaxed, inner awareness lifted to the spine, up to the point between your two eyebrows. Notice if you have more awareness in your spine. It's a very important aspect of our lives to have awareness centered in our body. Almost like that part of your body is glowing with awareness. And lastly, notice that you can freely move anywhere up and down the spine. You can rise all the way to the peak and all the way down into the depths. Just take a few moments here. With inhalation, you rise effortlessly. With exhale, descend down to the bottom. And then we'll rest at the spiritual eye, hands together in front of the heart for a few moments here. We ask ourselves in this moment, what is most important to me in life? Is there anything more important than this inner peace and inner quietude and sharing that with others? And the feeling of love, of spontaneous joy in the heart. These are the timeless jewels of our yoga practice. As a selfless offering, let's bring someone into our heart center who could benefit from our practice, this high vibration, this inner stillness. And see this person enveloped in a loving quality of light, vibrant and intelligent, Whisper words of love and encouragement to this person, praying for their best and their highest good. See them bathed in loving light. When you're ready, you can rub the palms together. Get some good prana going here. Good vibration between the palms. When you're ready, extend the palms out nice and wide. Notice if you feel vibration in the hands. Let your body be a channel for divine energy to flow through. Let's bless the world with the sounding of 3 ohms. Exhale all the breath out of the mouth. Deep breath to begin in through the nose. Hands can join back together in prayer as it's natural. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace in our hearts, our minds, peace in the world. Gentle bow of your head towards your hands in prayer. We bow to that divinity that is within all of us, the essence of who we are. We bow to that divine nature in all beings, saying Namaste. Namaste. Take your time. If you'd like to stay for a little while, you're welcome. You can slowly open the eyes as you feel ready to. So a great thank you to all of you for sharing this time with me this evening. I hope you have a beautiful night or day wherever you are in this world. We're connected in so many ways now. But carry this energy with you wherever you're moving on to, and share it with those around you through kindness, calmness, patience, and love. So namaste everyone. Have a beautiful, beautiful time wherever you're headed.